Here is the Infiniti QX60. This is the Sensory, this is the Autograph. What is the difference between the trims and some comparable rivals? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. Starting off with the Autograph, this is fully loaded. So you're gonna get every feature. You can option things like mud flaps, the roof rails, the crossbars, just few accessories really. You still have to go up to tiers to actually get features. Adaptive LED headlights and daytime runnings with auto leveling. That's going to be both on the Sensory and Autograph, and these are both all-wheel drive, so you're unlocking 6,000 pounds of towing. The grille has the inwards mesh that's Japanese inspired with the Infiniti badge right in front of it, and underneath it getting the print. The lower is going to get the same paint as the body between the matte black. I don't necessarily mind it so much in the front, but in the back they do the same scheme instead of giving exhaust outlets, in which I would prefer to see exhaust, because underneath the hood is a naturally aspirated V6 3.5 liter producing 295 horsepower with 270 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Both of them are going to achieve 20 mpgs for the city and 25 mpgs for the highway because they're all-wheel drive. Now, the Autograph, I personally own it, so I have changed the wheels. They're 22-inch wheels. We painted the calipers, whereas standard you're going to be getting a 20-inch two-tone alloy wheel. Both will get the matte black finish that's going to wrap around, and the lower gets the Infiniti badging in the chrome. And normally it would have all the chrome aesthetics on the exterior, but with mine we did a chrome delete, including the door handles. You get the obsidian black that's going to contrast the moon bow blue exterior on the Sensory. We have the roof rails. You're also noticing that they're silver. With the Autograph, you get the obsidian black for the whole top tier to give that two-tone look. So spending the extra couple grand makes it look a little bit more sporty in my book. Visually, you're gonna have that long look because of the way the third window brushes into the rear, and it keeps the box shape for the Infiniti QX60. The wraparound LED taillights, Infiniti script and badging. The difference between the Nissan Pathfinder and Infiniti is they'll say Pathfinder instead of Nissan, which I kind of like the way they do that segment, but then putting a big QX60 here would just make it look virtually too big. Kick to open or power liftgate for the Sensory and the Autograph. Both will get a 12-volt charger. Storage underneath the floor. You can fold the back or third row seats at a 60-40 split. That's going to increase cargo to 41.6 cubic feet. Unfortunately, to put the second row down to increase the cargo to 75.4, you got to go back here and fold them down. They will fold down flat for the bench at a 60-40 split. And going into the Autograph, so you can see the major difference between them. The captain seats, which yet again, you'll have to go into the back. Fold the seat down flat. And the difference between the Autograph and the Sensory is you're going to have a complete flat floor. You won't have that pass through. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Way power seat adjustment, leather appointed front and second row seats, heated, ventilated, massage memory for the passenger and driver, whereas the Autograph gets semi-aniline leather with the quilted inlays, Autograph badging, the same heated, ventilated, and massage with memory for driver and passenger. Headroom and legroom, it's going to be the same on all trims. Driver focus setup. The difference is going to be the dash, which you're going to see in just a second. Here it's flat, you get the wood inlays with the 12.3 touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio with the upgraded Bose sound system. Put it into reverse and a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory around the vehicle. Going into a touchpad with tri-climate control settings, QI wireless charging pad, and the key fob for the QX60. Driving mode select, which when you change that, you have personal, sport, eco, and auto. Auto hold, so you don't have to push the brake whenever you're at a stoplight. It'll hold it for you. This can also go for your infotainment screen. Instead of using the touch, it's going to be more soft. Opens up into a deep storage pocket with some card holders, a 12-volt pin holder, and another area for cards. Leather-wrapped steering wheel, heated, multi-function, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, the paddle shifts, and the gauge cluster is a digital reader that can be reconfigured, and it can go through an array of information for the driver with a heads-up display, auto dimming rear view mirror with the digital rear view mirror, which is part of the vision, which also adds the adaptive headlights, a large panel moonroof that goes to the second row, and the door is going to get the satin aluminum that goes into the wood. It's going to be soft to touch, one touch up and down for the windows. I like the mesh inlays for the Bose sound system, and a medium-sized storage pocket with the beverage holder carved out. Now going into the autograph, this is the difference that you're going to notice right off the bat for the dash. That quilted inlays, but everything else is going to be the same except for the leather upholstery, quilted inlays throughout the cabin. And both will have a pass-through. For the second row, headroom and legroom. This is the autograph, so we have the captain seats. This can be removed, so you'll have a pass-through to get to the third row, and they are adjustable, which when you're going on that long journey, you can relax. And you can also slide these forward to make it a little bit more desirable for the third row occupant. Storage behind both of the front seats, third climate control, heated rear seats, USB, home plug, and the door is going to have the manual sunshade. The door panel will have the same exact pocket and design as the Sensory, but the difference is you're getting a bench seat. Armrest with cup holders sliding into the center. Feet space is not too bad, even though the rails, they have this lip here that kind of push you forward. Butt and shoulder space isn't too bad either. And headroom, you can actually fit somebody in the center if you do not want to have the captain seats in the autograph. To enter to the third row, push the button, it's going to slide forward. Entering for two more with a little storage tray in between, cup holders and USB on both sides, air vents in the ceiling. Behind the driver is really the optimal area because you have more feet space because of the rails. Even though this is kind of pushed up and gives a hump, you got to go like this. Therefore, it would be a little tight sitting with the third row. But headroom isn't actually that bad. And you can recline these back for a longer journey if the second row moves up a little bit. To enter to the third row, push the button and it's going to slide forward, entering for two more occupants. Both sides will get a USB and storage with two cup holders, air vents in the ceiling. And for feet space, it's actually not too bad. The rails on this side are going to be pushed back more so it's going to be a little bit more comfortable on the driver's side, but headroom isn't that bad either for a smaller SUV. You can also recline these back so that way you can relax on that long journey. Taking the autograph out first, which has the 22-inch upgraded wheels that we put on aftermarket, 295 horsepower with this 3.5 liter V6, 270 pound-feet of torque. The main difference that you will probably notice is going to be the interior sound deadening because we changed the wheels, and we're going to demonstrate the difference between the comfort in the vehicles. None of the suspensions are changed out when you go into different trims, which I kind of wish they did that because of the increase in price per trim. Give her a little go. The seats are a lot more comfortable in the autograph opposed to the Sensory. So spending the extra couple grand, you will notice a little bit of a difference there too. And because massage seats are in both of them, the actual seat is not stretched as much. So it has a little bit more play into it for that long journey, making it a little bit more comfortable. It's going to take me to some pros and cons right off the top, starting off with the pros. is you're getting a bargain for the vehicle. The con, you do have to go tier base in order to get features, which I kind of wish you can option things so you didn't have to go up tiers, but in the same perspective, it's only a few grand. Unless you're going from a Luxe to a Pure, then the increase in price can be more significant, of like a $4,000 to $7,000 increase. But if you are just optioning between these two trims, both getting all-wheel drives, you're really only talking a couple of grand. Some other pros about the vehicle: where are you going to get a vehicle that's $60-some thousand with massage seats? The con, they don't give you ventilated seats in the second row, which a lot of vehicles are starting to do around this price point, and you have manual sunshades, which, because you're hovering in the mid 60 to near 70, in which the autograph is more towards the 70, power sunshades should be something that's standard for the second, and they should throw them into the third row as well. And for the sensory, the sound deadening is really close to even the aftermarket wheels that I have, but the seat comfort is a lot different. It's just more firm, whereas that one's just more soft materials. Braking is not going to alter. We didn't change anything in the brakes. Clearance doesn't change much. Increasing the wheel size, it's still going to be right at the 7.5 inches. So if you do aftermarket, I think it will look a lot more athletic. It's not going to do anything too much different for the drive. The steering will still have some weight to it. But in the sensory, I feel that it isn't as plush, not just with the seats, but looking at the dash, because you get the quilted design. I wish that the autograph went a step further, putting it on the door panel, because you are paying a couple grand extra, but even sitting into the back seats here, I feel like I'm sitting a lot taller, whereas that one, it's captain seat, so it's a little bit more relaxing and just a little bit more of a wide seat opposed to a bench. I'm not a huge fan of the auto start stop feature because it shakes the engine quite a bit, in which that's going to put a lot of wear on the engine mounts. Mercedes and BMW do a lot better job with this. Acura also has that shake to it. Same thing with Lexus. If I was comparing this against the new TX, it's going to be a little bit longer and wider. But when you're considering the MSRP of that starts at around $55,000, you're getting a lot of value for the TX, but you're not getting a V6 engine. So when you go Nissan, you actually get that naturally aspirated instead of getting a hybrid or a turbocharged variant, in which they're doing the same thing. You can add some features to the Lexus, so that's the benefit there. But on the con, going up tiers changes the price drastically. That thing can hit $80,000 to $90,000 without a blink of an eye. As for Acura, which would be the most comparable to this, you're getting a lot of value for that. And you can also go up to the Type S, which would be around the same spec as this. The major difference between it, though, is you get the captain seats here. They're actually softer seats. You're getting less speakers, but I like the Bose sound system a little bit better. And storage is just as good, but you do lose cargo and headroom plus legroom for the third row occupants, opposed to the first gen QX60. And the big problem that I have is the gauge cluster. When you get into Nissan for the Ariya, which is a fully electric SUV, you can see the actual navigation. Here it's just turn by turn. But let's get back to that after some performance. You have frontal collision, rear cross traffic alert with pedestrian detection, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, which can go about 0.2 to 0.3 miles. It's not the best system, in which I've done some reels on them. You can check them out. You'll hear an alert, kind of like a police siren. It goes off pretty quick. And when it's not reading the lines, it will just automatically disengage. So that one is not the best feature, but these are still kind of in the first tier levels because we don't really have full autonomous driving. And off the line, it's not going to push you back. more of a luxury set type of drive. Comparing this against BMW, the price to the X7 is going to be a lot more. It's also a longer vehicle. The X5 no longer offers a third row variant, in which they start in the $70,000 price point, more or less. Going against Audi, it's about 10 grand more, and you're getting a 2.0 turbocharged engine. So when you're considering what you're getting as a package, Infiniti, Nissan, they did a good job at giving you a little bit more than anything that's comparable. As for Mercedes, it's going to be the same thing. That's why it really slots in more towards the Acura and Lexus. And Lexus, if you go into the RX 350, it's going to be smaller for third row occupants, in which the TX kind of fits that happy medium or the norm, but then it's a longer vehicle and wider. So this is a little bit easier for driving purposes, because a lot of people don't like that extra length or width. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like.